Man, what's going on, everyone? You guys already know who it is, man. It's been a minute. Actually, I say that every video. I honestly don't know how to start these videos sometimes, but I kind of want to take a different approach. And obviously, as you guys know, I talk a lot about used technology, used iPhones, used Androids. And honestly, in my opinion, I know I talk a lot about like $100, $200 phones, but I want to let you guys know that personally, I don't think there's the best all-around phone for any budget. But let's say I had $500 to spend. I think the iPhone 10 is probably the best all-around $500 phone you can get, in my opinion. And I think I might be a little biased, but at the same time, not really, because the iPhone 10 is my main phone. It is the phone that I use every single day for every single purpose. Whatever you see me doing with a phone, it's usually the iPhone 10. Even though I own the 10s, the 10s Max, and all those other phones, the iPhone 10 is one of those phones that I can go back to. And even though that is the case, I want to say I still have so much love for all my other phones, even Androids. I think the Galaxy Note 9 is a very good, and in a lot of ways better than the iPhone 10. You can even pick one of those up for cheaper in the used market than the iPhone 10. And like I said, these are all used prices. My current iPhone 10, I bought this 256 gig model. I think I bought it for $580, and this was like a year ago. So you can probably pick up one of these for even less than $500. So I figured I would kind of give a range there. Now, one of the biggest reasons as to why I still think this phone is completely worth the money in the used market is the design. The design is not going to be changing that much in the next while for Apple. We know this year the iPhone 11, the back camera is going to be changing, and maybe some coating of the screen or whatever, but for the most part, the screen, the way it feels, the way of everything is going to be pretty much the same, just like the 10s and 10s Max. And I always say, just because the new iPhones are released doesn't mean the old iPhones feel any cheaper, you know? I mean, even the iPhone 8, 8 Plus, dude, even like the iPhone 4S, look at that phone. That phone is one of the most premium feeling iPhones ever, and the design has changed, it's progressed, we've gotten bigger phones, but that phone still feels very premium, you know? It doesn't feel cheaper or anything. It feels more expensive than like an iPhone 7 or 7 Plus, and those phones came out in 2016. So the iPhone 10, in my opinion, one of the biggest strong suits about it is the design. It just feels so premium in my opinion, and I think that's one thing why I can't like just let it go easy, because design wise, even though it has the notch and there's phones like the OnePlus 7 Pro that I've had and the Galaxy S10 that I own and all those phones that are like way better looking, I still think the iPhone 10, in my opinion, is very premium for the price. Another huge thing that I actually see mentioned a lot is the speed of this phone. You know, this phone still is an extremely fast device, and every time I mess with it, every time I do anything with it, it's just like, why would I need to go and upgrade to a different device? There's really no point. I mean, yes, the iPhone 10s Max and the iPhone 10s are faster phones, and I've already done speed comparisons between those two, even on iOS 13, but I still don't see a humongous reason as to why. You know, as long as you're not comparing them side by side, you're not going to notice. And I say it every single video, every single reviewer I know, they're always like, but this one has like an extra gig of RAM, and this one has the Snapdragon 855 or the Apple whatever. And it's just like, yes, it's faster, but honestly, in the grand scheme of things, like, who cares? Those are just marketing tactics for these companies to sell you and upsell you of every single device. In my opinion, I think the iPhone 10 is still an extremely fast device, in my opinion. Now, the biggest advantage I think the iPhone 10 has, and I say that about every single point I'm about to make, that even the Android phones don't have, is including the Galaxy Note 9 and even the Galaxy Note 10 that's about to come out, and a lot of these other Android phones and even iPhones, is the software updates. And I do think the iPhone 10 is probably going to end up lasting longer than even the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, because it was released later than those, but because mostly the iPhone 10 shares so much similarity with the iPhone 10s, and I kind of relate this back almost to like an iPhone 5s, iPhone 6 thing, but kind of in reverse. The S series updates usually end up lasting longer than just the regular like 6 or number series, but we never saw like an iPhone 7s or an iPhone 8s, so I think the iPhone 10 is going to end up getting the same software updates as the iPhone 10s, so it's going to get an extra year. I'm saying it now, but even if it doesn't, we still have so many more years of support for the iPhone 10 that it's probably going to outlast the Galaxy Note 10 that still hasn't came out. Again, this phone came out in 2017. The Note 10 is coming out almost a full 2 years later, and the iPhone 10 is still probably going to outlast it in terms of software updates, which is crazy. So in terms of that, you're going to be 100% set, and that's a huge reason as to why to even pick up an iPhone in the first place, but more importantly, to pick up an iPhone 10, man. This phone is going to last you a long time in software. This next thing, and I'm gonna kind of combine the next 2 or 3 things. The cameras on this thing are awesome. Like, I'm not a huge photographer, but when I'm taking photos, when I'm taking videos, like even yesterday, I did the iOS 13 beta 7 reviews on my iPhone 10, and the 7 Plus video didn't really turn out that well because I had like really bad lighting, but I had to get that info out. But the iPhone SE and iPhone 6s video surprisingly looked pretty decent, and I didn't do any color correcting, I didn't do anything. Now, for like most of you guys are gonna say it doesn't look good at all, but for me, I mean, my standards are pretty low. You know, as long as it looks pretty decent, then I'm fine. I don't think anybody's looking at my videos for like the highest quality things. I think they're just looking at it for like an opinion on something, and kind of more of an information standpoint, I assume, but the cameras on this thing, like, they will get the job done. You have dual cameras, you have 12 megapixel sensors, you know, it's not the craziest like 8K filming thing, whatever, but you know, it gets the job done, and I think it's still a very, very good asset for this phone. And also the battery size and battery life, like, I really haven't had too many problems with battery life on my phone. However, with the betas of iOS 13, I've been running into some issues, but again, those will get fixed over by time. On iOS 12, my iPhone 10 battery life was amazing, and actually, believe it or not, the battery size is bigger than the iPhone 10s, which is kind of strange because you're spending more money for a 10s, but you're getting less battery size, but whatever. As long as you're not running the betas, like as long as you're on like iOS 12, eventually iOS 13 will come out and that'll be really good, but the battery life, in my opinion, has been very, very good. And just kind of looking at the overall package, I mean, you're getting an amazing screen, you're getting amazing build quality, you know, OLED display is very, very cool, and I like that a lot. And this one technically has a higher resolution display than the Galaxy Note 10, and I know this is not a comparison, but because the Note 10 is like the newest phone by Samsung and it's supposed to be like groundbreaking, whatever, kind of comparing it to a phone that came out 2 years ago is actually really interesting. So those are just a couple reasons as to why I think the iPhone 10 is probably the best $500 phone you can get in the used market. Like I've stated though, you know, you might get lucky, you can find a lemon that'll be even cheaper than that, like around $450, $480. You can even wait a little bit longer until like next month, until when the new iPhones come out, and then these will get even cheaper than that. And don't be discouraged to pick up a 64 gig model. I mean, I had a 64 gig model for so long. I just recently got a 256, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh my god, you need all the space, whatever, but if you can make do with it, I think you'll be fine. Like, I had so much stuff on my phone. I had photos, videos, music, you know, I run this channel, I have other things I do, and I was still able to be fine. I mean, I had to delete a couple things here and there, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. So that pretty much sums it up, guys. If you have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.